So I thought I'd give you a short update. I've been back home for probably a week now. Time has just absolutely flown by. Uh, I I just thought I'd tell you a couple of things about what I do cleanliness wise to keep on top of things. So my bedclothes get changed every second day, so I get to sleep in my bed linen on my bed for 2 nights before they get changed. My towels get washed every time I use them. So I use my towels once for a shower and then they get washed. My clothes I wear once, generally as far as I can work out. Yeah, I think that they get washed basically after one wear. My Helen is amazing. She's keeping the place really, really clean. I have a little, because I'm in the spare room, I've got a little ensuite bathroom that Helen makes sure the toilet is disinfected every day. Everything is as clean as it can be. So, and before I got back here, I know that the shower was steam cleaned and was actually resealed. So the sealant, which was possibly a little bit mouldy before I left, is now pristine and white and clean. So that's all totally clean. That's all totally normal. And how am I feeling? I'm feeling pretty good. Helen seems to think my walking is slightly better. I'm getting a bit stronger. I can fit my hands around my thighs. I mean, I've got chicken legs, and that is, again, I could keep mentioning from decommissioned sort of muscle usage where I haven't done any sort of exercise for a long time. Now, I am starting to do yoga with Adrian, which I was doing a little bit before I left for HSCT, and I found that really useful because it was using my muscles, but not in a vigorous way, in a way that was using them so that they were getting their usage, without having to go out for a run, without having to do this and that. So I found yoga, although a few years ago I would have turned my nose up at the idea of being sort of a rugby playing um, competitive sports person. Actually, I find yoga really useful as a technique for keeping my muscles used and hopefully supple, and whatnot. So I am starting to get back into the whole yoga thing. The other thing I wanted to say is my buddy Frank, in who's back in Norway, is in isolation at the moment, having had either an infection or something. So he's in hospital, and what I wanted to say is, obviously, my heart goes out for him, to him, but you can't take anything for granted. So once you've had HSCT, you think your body might be recovering really well, but it's easy to get an infection, I guess, and they can come from anywhere, or a virus or something. Your immune system is low, and so although you might think you feel fine, you're sitting in your room, you're on your laptop, you're doing this, you think, right, I'm fine. But you do that one thing, or that one germ that just happens to be hanging around in that wrong place, gets into you at the wrong time, and then you're back to square one, and it is a real risk. There are plenty of people who have had HSCT who have ended up with major problems afterwards because, for whatever reason, uh, and they've got infections, or they've had issues or whatever. So fingers crossed for me, I'm okay at the moment, but I can't take things for granted. It's really easy to take things for granted, and I shouldn't do that. Today I'm going out for my first set of blood tests. So I'm going to go to the doctor's surgery, which means, I will be equipped with my mask, and I will, because at the end of the day, doctor's surgeries are full of, usually where I live, very sick old people. No offense to old people, but that's the sort of area I live in. So I need to take precautions to make sure that I am safe going to get my blood test. I'm quite excited about getting that because those blood tests, I'm excited about the results, really. I don't know why. Those kind of things excite me. But yeah, so that's my first set of blood tests, and then I've got another set booked in for next week, and I'll be seeing my doctor, I think, next week as well. I've got that all booked in. I've got 3 lots of blood tests booked in, and a doctor's appointment, as well as my neurologist appointment that was booked in before I left. So things are looking pretty good on that front as far as the aftercare goes. I've had no complications, so I'm not on any drugs. I don't need any extra drugs. So things are really simple for me. It's just live carefully, eat well, and stay away from germs. Because that's easy, right? So as I say, things are going well, but I need to be careful. And I had my blood test today, so that'll be that's going to be interesting because it's the first time I will have left the house properly. Going to go into the village, to the medical centre, the surgery, and obviously wait in a waiting room, probably in a corner away from everyone else. And get my blood tests and then shoot straight back home. Really, I don't particularly want to hang around in a risky environment. I'm going to use the opportunity maybe to get a bit of walking done. I definitely need to walk more. So I'm going to set myself a regime whereby I'm going to walk outside the house a certain amount, and each day I'm going to add sort of 10 meters, 20 meters onto that, or whatever. So up my walking, whilst being careful as well, probably wearing a mask outside. That's all I have to say for now. I just thought I'd let you know a few bits of cleaning, whilst also, you know, blood test, but be careful. Always be careful, because this is a really risky business, and, you know, without sounding too hardcore, we are dicing with death. You know, these are dangerous things. When your immune systems are low, you know, you are in a very vulnerable situation. So, you know, you've just got to be careful. And hopefully, you know, Helen, my partner, is enabling me to live a fairly normal life around the house, because she's going around doing these things, you know, almost without me realizing, such that the house is in a really good state for me to live in the state that I'm in. Anyway, hope that was useful. Take it easy. I will give you another home update at some point soon. Toodle pips.